Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in to the PSP Podcast, featuring your friendly host, Percussive 173, where PSP stands for Perk Spreads Positivity, where we educate.
The 3 E's, right? You can educate, you can entertain, you can be empathetic.
Have you encountered any gender-related obstacles or biases while building your career in content creation?
I would say the cyber stalking.
By bringing in the best of the best. You still do that, so let's not discount that. So what really made you go into streaming? What was that decision? What was that move that made you make, as I'm very sorry, I know I'm teasing you, but it's literally, it's one of those things that we can do. Post everywhere, post often, and do it your own way. And have fun. And have fun and be yourself.
Fine. Have fun, honestly. Like that, I love that so much because it's so true. Like, if you like the content you're making, like if you're watching it and you like it, you're not the only person.
From fitness to establish a new habit or a routine, what is your message to them?
Start with less than you think you need.
Too fitting. Would love to get some tips and tricks of the trade on like how you kind of do things in the cosplay field.
Yeah, I'd love to go into that, especially because like I've done a little bit of everything, right? So I've made some costumes, I've bought some costumes, I have my friends with costumes, I've commissioned costumes, I like craft all kinds of things, but also I wear things. Like there's a whole smorgasbord if I do a little bit of everything when it comes to cosplay.
To VTubing and animation. This is something that I may want to get into. How should they start?
Ooh, I think everyone should start on YouTube. I think YouTube is going to be your best place for launching
metrics that creators should be paying attention to, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think, and like specifically with like VTubing, I think it's, I think all of that is like kind of like the difficulty level is like bumped up to like expert.
And our goal at the PSP Podcast is to educate and inspire aspiring creators. And we are super excited for this week's episode, and we can't wait to see you there. So let's have a freaking party! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on into tonight's episode of the PSP Podcast. I'm your friendly host, Percussive 173, and I could not be more excited to bring this guest on to be able to talk with you guys. So for those of you guys that don't know, the PSP Podcast is here to inspire aspiring creators, where we spread positivity, where we share good vibes, and we bring in the best of people who just know what they're doing in the world of content. So today we're driving into the art and science behind how it all drives. The marketing of content creation. And this is how you stand out. This is how you build something meaningful in the digital world. And people don't really know this, but marketing kind of makes the drive and focus for every video, for everything that you guys put out there. And this is, I'm very, very honored to welcome in Pink onto the PSP Podcast. So Pink, how are we doing today? How are you?
We're doing great. We're doing absolutely amazing. I'm super excited to be on the show here and talk about actually marketing for once. And what to do, what not to do, the ins and outs, and pulling back the curtain.
This is something that I think is overlooked in the world of content, and a lot of people just kind of ignore it for some reason. But it's one of the most important things in the world of content, because how are you supposed to be seen if you've never posted something and don't know how to be seen? You know?
That's what I tell content creators all the time. They're like, hey, Pink, question. How do I get viewers to come and watch me on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, wherever? And I'm like, do you market anywhere? Do you post your content? They're like, no, I don't know how. And it's like, well, there's step one.
Absolutely. And like, it's so important. And when I tell anyone who's going into content, like literally the first thing that I bring up is, have you posted any content prior? Because no one's going to tune into your live stream unless and if they don't know who you are. So why don't we tell the world a little bit about yourself? Why don't we, who is Pink and how did she come to be?
Yeah, so I'm Pink. My real name's Brooke, so a lot of people in the industry know me as Brooke, but I do subsequently go by Pink. And I've been in the gaming industry for 23 years, something like that. Started out as doing game development at the age of 12 with Bungie, helped create Halo 2 DLCs. in Austin, Texas. And then furthermore went on to doing competitive tournaments, training the WCG Ultimate Gamers from Sci-Fi Channel on season 1 and season 2 for MLG for Halo 3. And then we kind of pivoted a little bit. We went into some different kind of FPS shooters, started competing in Call of Duty, where I competed in about, I want to say 89, 90 tournaments, raised over $700,000, donated all my winnings back into Wounded Warriors, Stack Up, and other military and charity funds for cancer and for Children's Miracle Network. And now what I'm doing, since all my, I'm retired from the competitive scene. I mean, I'll boot up on the sticks again if I need to, if the price is right. But other than that, now I'm full-fledged marketing. So I do marketing, production, voiceover work, and advertisements for a multitude of companies. So I'm on ESPN every single Thursday as ad segments for Houston Radio 97.5 and 92.5 for a sports media company that I own. And I help NIL creators and athletes become creators. So I help them get talent agency deals, learn how to market, when to post, what not to post, and how to really make their feeds be their selling point on Instagram and Meta, etc. Because a lot of content creators, and especially athletes, they don't understand the difference between the Reels tab and the Feeds tab. And that's pretty important, especially if you're trying to acquire brand deals or NIL activations in the space to begin with. So I do that. And then I also host and manage high-level productions. So I just came back from doing Celebrity Softball Classic in Dallas, Texas, and Frisco. So that's pretty amazing. That was great. We had over 12,000 attendings. Me and a team of 4. We ended up running the entire thing with over 200 celebrities. And then I also... gosh, what else do I do? Everything. And I manage 11 social media companies, from construction to SaaS technology, all the way up into the big B2B, B2C companies. And I run my own companies as well, which I own 4. So
That's
it's
an
a lot of
impressive
work.
resume.
It is insane. It's never ending. And it seems like every day people are looking for people to help them in marketing. But a lot of these marketing agencies don't actually know how to market. They're really leaning heavily into AI models and automatic posting that don't actually drive traffic and don't touch the algorithm that they need to be touching to be able to have that retention, that growth, that engagement that they need to be pushing forward with their business to be a B2C consumer. And so I'm the one that steps in. I help, optimize and run their meta analytics and all their campaigns, all the way to content creation, video editing, and skits. So I really do all of it for all these companies. And it's great seeing a lot of these different industries really break out into fields that they're not never really been interested in going into. Like, example, I'm working with a construction company right now, a couple of them. And one of them specifically doesn't create content, didn't really want to upload content, but now he's really going full force into it, understanding that he really needs to have his audience and his future customers see what he's doing on these job sites, how safe it is, before and afters, etc. So really peeling back the curtain on everything content for all these companies.
That's honestly a super impressive resume, and like everything that you do, like you literally embody content in like every form and every facet. And like this podcast, like we always are, we're here to inspire aspiring creators, people who want to grow, people who have never actually made it into the industry, or people who are too afraid to hit the go live button. And like we talk a lot about you talk a lot about like your experience behind marketing. For somebody who knows nothing about marketing, about what even to start with, what is something that you want them to know? Because there's SEO metrics, like there's business analytics, there's all these different things, but what is that thing that they should at least start with?
When it comes to like marketing specifically, if you're talking about like what should a content creator be looking at when they're posting for content, is that what you're talking about specifically? Or we could go a million directions with this. So let's get a little more granular. What are you looking for?
So let's say like someone is going in for the first time. They don't really know what to post, and they don't really know how things are in like the content space. What do you recommend to them?
I would tell them, what are your main objectives, and not right now. think 6 months, think a year ahead. What type of content are you wanting to create? Is that like lifestyle content? Is that brand content? Is it gaming content? Do you want to show you making day in my life videos, BTS, etc.? Kind of aligning yourself and your vision into pillars. So I always tell my clients when I'm first working with them, what do you want to do? What do you want to highlight on social media? Because we can upload raw and dirty all day. We can post all the stupid things that we want to do and nothing will make sense and our feeds will be cluttered. But at what point do you want to start categorizing everything and putting it into like pillars to really hone in and know your niche? And your niche doesn't have to be one thing in the space anymore. It could be anything. It's just what categories and content pillars do you want to go with? So that's what I really do. I break it down super granular with all my clients and my athletes and my content creators, and then they go out and execute. So I would always say, organize your thoughts on what you want to do. How do you want it to look? And don't copy other content creators, but pay attention. If you know that when you swipe onto a video and you hear that fire alarm click every single time, that makes it consistent. That makes it normal. Every time you hear that click, you're going to be like, boom, that's Mr. Marvel. That's Mr. Marvel TV all day. So you kind of have to hone in on what you're looking for. And that doesn't mean you need to absolutely know it now.
Right.
It's just a starting point and a foundation to be able to really build it to be like, you're knocking out 30 pieces of content every 2 weeks because you know yourself. You're not competing against other people. You know what you want to execute on, and you can just go out, record it, and execute it in 20 minutes. And not have to burn your time wasting an hour and a half to 2 hours on a video that's probably going to flop. So it's a lot easier to spend your time, hone in, take 15, 20 minutes, edit the video, get it out. If it works, look at your analytics, see what did good, what was your drop-off rate, hone in, switch it up, change it if you need to, or double down and keep going. Split the deck and go in harder. That's what I always tell them.
A lot of people bring up when it comes to marketing, like I see people posting videos all the time and like every hashtag is completely different. And I think a lot of creators have this weird misconception that they, in order for their videos to push, they have to hit the right hashtags. What's your mindset to those creators? What is that little trick? Or is there a trick? Or is there not a trick?
Yeah, so hashtags are always a interesting topic for a lot of people. They'll use about 15, 20 hashtags and hope one of them hits. But there are specific websites where you can go on and you can see what hashtag is trending around the topic that you're about to post about. There's also different options and tools like Creator Search Insights on TikTok that can also let you hone in even further. Also, use ChatGPT 5. You can do that. It'll tell you exactly what you need to post for hashtags, and then stop using 1,500 of them on a post. You should really only be using 3 to 5. And when you start thinking about uploading, don't think that you have to rely on these hashtags. Use bigger words. Use more words. Every word is a hashtag now. It's like Twitter. When Elon Musk said, hey, stop using hashtags on my platform, they don't do anything. And he's right, because that's the exact same thing. That's where SEO comes into play, because SEO just stands for search engine optimization, and every word is an optimization pain point. So if you're talking about PSP Podcast show and you're talking about marketing, you're going to build out more of a structured paragraph upon every single video. And all those words are going to hit an SEO algorithm. You can also add in alt text on your image posts and on your reels to make it even more granular and going into more detail on the video without having to add a bigger caption. So you can just put that right on the back end and it's still going to SEO and optimize your video exactly the same.
And that's a tool that a lot of people forget to use is ChatGPT. I see them like all the time, or not just ChatGPT, but any AI tools. Like there are tools out there for creators that we should use to our advantage. And content is vast. There's a million people trying to do the exact same thing. So, and that's why, like, when we talk about SEO metrics and when we talk about that type of stuff, it's huge and important for us to be able to stand out and to make ourselves known. And it's how it even goes to your brand and identity. So when you think about your brand, what are those core feelings? What are those messages that you in particular, we'll focus on you a little bit here. What are those messages that you communicate as Pink?
So I always communicate comedy. Comedy is really big with my community. So I
W.
I put comedy into its own little content filter. I have playlists and categories and tags and hashtags that are like pink comedy. Pink,
Mhm.
different things that also align. So I do comedy, I do rage bait. Rage bait is great for my content. It's very
Yes.
easy as a
Yes.
content creator. I do always tell people, if you're not going to look at the comments anyway, throw in a couple of rage baits a month. You're going to hit your reach numbers every month. So I do that. Gaming's a big one that I also do. Brand content creation for ads and promos. So that's another pillar that I use. But yeah, that's specific to me. But yeah, I mean, it just
Dude,
goes so many different ways.
when it comes to Call of Duty, rage bait content is like literally king.
It's easy.
There's so many people out there that are like, I'm the best of the best. I'm gonna do a huge sniper trick shot. Well,
Mhm.
my personal opinion here, trick shotting died in 2015. You're not really gonna get noticed if you're gonna do a trick shot anymore, and like get those quad feeds. What you're gonna get noticed is if you're actually genuinely making fun content that people are gonna enjoy. And any aspiring creator that I have or that I like talk to, my first thing is post the content that you enjoy doing, because enthusiastic and authenticity, being absolutely and authentically yourself, is
Yeah.
huge. And
Yes. If you're not authentic, people will smell it.
yes,
They will know that you're not authentic. And then this is another big thing too. When it comes to content creation, whatever you put out on the internet is evergreen and it's sticky. So, and
mhm,
it lives there forever because any company can take that video and slap it on a third party website and call it a day, which means you're never going to not get off the internet.
right,
That also means that when you go to video game events and you're meeting your fans and they feel like they know you and they've watched you for years, you got to be the same person. You got to play the same role. You got to have the exact same energy. And if you don't, they know immediately and they're probably not going to come back on the next stream when they see you faking it again. And yes, we all fake it when we're on stream. There's
we
sometimes
have to,
I am so mentally exhausted and my personal life is like blurring what clip am I going to get? Do I even have the energy to laugh today? And it's like, either you pick and choose, you don't go live that day and know that you're going to lose viewers on the next stream because you weren't consistent, or you have to fake it. It's
right,
up to you. But at the end of the day, it's like, hypothetically, you go to work, you have a bad day, you come home, you get mad at your family. Leave it at the door. It's the exact same thing when you're creating content. But authenticity is the most important, and engagement. If you don't have engagement, I don't want to hear, I don't know why my chat's not talking. Keep talking. And a lot of people will tell you, oh, well, content creators always say, all I have to do is talk all the time. That's exhausting. Yes. But there's also different AI language models that you can add as plugins into your broadcast that can talk to you in a regular tone and ask you questions about the game that you're playing because it can AI see your screen. And all you have to do is reply back to it. And that will just audibly keep the conversation going and it'll make it a lot easier.
Anyways, so we were talking about marketing, we're talking about communication, we're talking about tech issues, and like the big thing with the PSP podcast is like we see creators all the time ask the question, is it even worth hitting the go live button? So what is your response to those creators that are even struggling from the get-go? What would you like to see from new creators coming into the scene for the first time today?
I feel like that's a really hard answer because it could go a million different ways. You never
Yes.
know. Like, I mean, when I first started streaming, I was streaming through my console. I didn't know if I was going to actually do this. And then in 30 days, I got partnered. So it's like, it's really hit or miss. But if a new content creator came to me and they were like, Pink, should I create content? Or specifically, let's say live streaming for this case, I would say yes, to an extent. So a lot of content creators, new ones, they love to stream for 8, 15, 24-hour streams, hot right out the gate, and then we'll come back and say it's not working. I am burnt out. I stream all the time, but I can't hit affiliate. Well, yes, you can't because you're not marketing. Because you're spending all of your time live streaming to an audience who isn't there. You need to build the audience. You need to build the foundation to be able to hit that live button where it matters the most. And that's like, it's painful. It sucks, right? But at the same time, before I started streaming, I networked for a year. And I didn't just jump into it. I mean, granted, I did have a couple thousand followers at the time. I was still very green in the space of content creation, but I was actively in people's chats. I was actively talking and communicating and getting to know different communities and then playing with those people offline. Now, I was still recording, playing offline, and hanging out with those other content creators. And then I would clip it, edit it, upload it. And I was using a free software at the time because I couldn't afford Adobe. So I was kind of bootstrapped and hustling. And that is completely okay. But at the end of the day, you still need to get the content out to get the followers, to get the viewership, to push them back. It's just a big triangle. And you have to know which way you need to go to be able to at least have some type of viewer retention. Because
Absolutely.
and you should not be streaming 8, 15, 24 hours, period. Unless
Right.
you're like, you have the viewership to do that and it's ROI positive, which ROI, just return on investment, if anybody does not know that term. And it's just, it makes sense to do your marketing first. But we're also, if we start leaning into the fact of promotion, what we don't do as new content creators is we do not self promote. We do
Yes.
not do follow for follow.
It doesn't work.
And no, we don't do that. It doesn't work. And also the content creator, as a content creator myself, I do notice when you only come in my Discord to post in that self-promotion section. I see
We
it.
all do.
I know it. And I like specifically will not host you or raid you because of that. And that's another thing that's holding people back is they're not doing it authentically. They're trying to go in, mooch, and steal. You really need to be like authentically wanting to hang out with these people. I mean, when I started going and hanging out with Psycho Plays or sniping for Dom, I authentically loved their community. I loved playing video games with them. And then even after I started creating content, I didn't stop hanging out with those content creators. I just started integrating them into my content to help them grow more if I was potentially growing more. So, full circle, it works that way. And then also turn your follower chat off.
Yes. Turn
Turn
your
it off.
follows completely off. Paying
I
attention
don't
to those
care.
analytics
Yeah.
while live is not a smart move.
No, and it's also like a lot of people, they'll use the excuse, and I know some content creators and partners are in the chat. They're just like, we get the hate comments. We understand that, you don't want to hear it, you don't want to see it. But at the end of the day, everything can be filtered. Everything can be a phrase that auto deletes or auto times out. There is no reason for you to limit your engagement because you don't want to get your feelings hurt. Like that is the biggest thing about content creation. There is a safe space for everybody, but content creation isn't the one. And the more that people really understand that pain point, it's going to make your life so much easier. You don't have to read the comments on Facebook when Martha, 75 years old, is ripping you apart for playing a video game. All you need to think in the back of your head is that comment can be hidden and I just made revenue. That's easier to digest it that way than limiting yourself because you don't want to get your feelings hurt. But at the same time, no one's going to raid into you and then have to wait 120 minutes to be able to talk in your chat while you're sitting there being like, how was your stream? They're not going to reply because they can't. So I always tell everybody, check it, turn it off.
One of the other things that like I pay attention to, like when I go into chats, like I'm a viewer first.
Yeah.
I will always go into somebody's chat, interact with them, and decide like whether or not I even want to be friends with them, like before things are happening. Because like from a viewer to streamer relationship, we have to understand that there is that connection that like we have to interact with the streamers in order to like be able to allow them to grow. Like you're going into their community to interact with them and to have fun in our streams, and our goal as a streamer is to put out a product that is amazing and fun for you guys. So it's like people forget that dynamic, and that's they typically will pop into somebody's chat and immediately be like, well, I'm going live on Thursday. Dude, to be honest, like every single bot that I have, if you mention that you're streaming or going live, that message is going to be automatically deleted, because you're coming into our product, our money-making space, so we don't want to hear that you're going live too. Like message us offline that like, hey, I'm going to go live. Let me know how things are. I would love for you to stop by. And that actually falls into networking. There's a huge thing with content that people forget how to network properly. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to even start with it. And they think that networking is just making friends and being buddy-buddy with people. Like, it's not. Like, as a new creator, you have to learn how to network properly. And so then I guess that question to you is, how does someone even network in the streaming space?
So networking in the streaming space can be rough because every community is different, but once you find the community that you're comfortable networking with, you immediately know. So what I like to do as a content creator is I enjoy going in on community days. If a content creator is doing a community day, I'm there, especially when I was just starting, because then I get to hang out, I get to chat, I get to experience their vibe in real time. And then maybe if there's something that really works on their stream, I'm going to integrate it into mine just to see.
Yes.
But I'm also going to go back, and I'm going to keep asking. If I have like things that pop up and I don't want to take them like a sponsorship, I'll be like, hey, this person said this in their stream. They're going to have that. That's going to create that extra layer of connection, which is great because then you're going to start getting those shout outs every time you go into their stream. You're going to get the credibility. You're going to get the recognition without even having to ask for it. It's all about trust. And just going in raw and hot is just, it doesn't work. Only sliding into people's DMs when you want something or you want to retweet or anything like that. It's standoffish, and we're going to back up. So I would say stay consistent with communities, get to know them, get to know the viewers as well, not just the content creator, because the viewers have a lot of pull. The content creator can still say, hey, go follow this person. It does not mean anyone is following.
Yes.
Okay, that means nothing. So a lot of people are like, hey, can I pay for a shout out? No, because shout outs mean nothing.
Shout outs
I
don't
can
work.
be in, they don't work. They just don't work. And what does work though is like collaboration streams.
Bingo.
Fun community engagement battles on TikTok, and not where you're just trying to get revenue and you're yelling at each other, because that makes you look bad. And when you look bad because you're yelling at someone for money on the internet, brands see that and then you're already written off. So there's just so many different things that content creators do wrong, content creators do right. And it's trying to figure out what works, but usually sometimes some things that they do wrong works for them and it makes them money, but then it falls underneath the umbrella of rage bait. So you have to be careful how you want to like put yourself out there, because if you were to get a Razor sponsorship and then they look at your content for the past 6 months and you're over there degrading some, older woman over nothing and saying you got 1,200 diamonds and she had 0, like that doesn't make you look good. But community forward, networking, commenting on people's posts, because I don't know if you guys know, but if you comment on people's social media posts, especially Meta Business Suite and Instagram and TikTok, it pushes you to other people who are liking that, who are liking the, hitting that little heart button in the comments, who's messaging you back. There's also different filters too on Instagram for Instagram optimization. You can turn on the back end for you to be featured on like my page on Instagram without me approving you at all. All you
Hmm.
have to do is have similar aligned content and you'll pop up for a free advertisement right on my social media channels. And that is another way that I've grown is by interacting, engaging,
Yes. Inter-
even if you don't care about the content.
Interacting and engagement on content is extremely important in this space. And
It is.
one of the things that like I was told on TikTok is there are the people that that scroll by or scroll into someone's feed and then they like it and they scroll on. That doesn't push your content anymore on TikTok. What the
Right.
way that it pushes your content, did you watch at least 10 seconds of the video? After you watch 10 seconds of the video, then maybe hit the like button. But watch the full video because now they have timed analytics for every single platform. And if you really want to support your friends, watch the full video, like it after you watch the first time,
Mhm.
share it, favorite it, and then comment. That is how you actually will submit it to the algorithm on the point scale because TikTok runs in a point scale. And that's how people's content gets pushed
Funnel.
out. That's how
Yeah.
that's how it funnels out. And everything
Yeah,
is
it's
done
a
through these
funnel.
analytics because like and this is just every platform, but really TikTok in particular, like you have to get the proper points to be able to push your content to other people. It's huge.
Yes. And also, like, when we're creating content, so, like, gaming specific, we're gonna talk about me. So, I
Sure.
create a lot of, like, comedy, gaming, reels, etcetera. They mean nothing. They're just
Hmm.
filler to make sure the algorithm knows that I'm still alive. Now, that's not pieces of content that you're probably going to favorite, right? So, you have to understand that as a content creator, not all your content's going to get favorited, so that means not all of it's going to get good views.
Yes.
But if you have like, here's the new gun build for Warzone, and then you put the date on the screen, okay? And then you put text across the screen, then someone may want to know what that gun build is, and they're gonna share it to someone, they're gonna favorite it, they're gonna save it because that's knowledge base. That funnels into knowledge based content, which is super big because then that also follows up with STEM based content. And that's specific to TikTok. It also works the exact same on Instagram. Someone favors your video, they're going to see your content more. But let's push it into the follow button because if you follow someone, especially on TikTok, they're gone. Poof, they're gone. You're not going to see their content anymore because you followed them. You
Yep.
will get X amount of pieces of content after you followed a content creator to gauge whether you want to see their content anymore or did you stop reacting? Did you stop engaging? Because if you did, that's why you don't see that content creator anymore. And you will have to go to the followers tab to be able to see them moving forward, unless they have a video that popped off that you just haven't seen yet. But all your videos get posted out into an A, B, and C category
Yes.
for all your
For
content
all
on
platforms.
any platform, right? So once you post it, it goes out, you got like X amount of hours, X amount of minutes. And if that content gets distributed to 500 users and those 500 users do not interact with it, you're going to be stuck in 200 jail. That's why you're getting stuck. It's because it's just not resonating with anybody. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you delete it and then re-upload it. Don't do that. Don't
Don't.
listen to them. They have no clue what the hell they're talking about. So forget all their whole chat GPT conversation that they figured out to make that video. But no, never delete content. What you can do is you can go onto the back end of those platforms, re-upload that content, edit it a little bit different, see what the drop-off rate was. Put it into a different A and B testing through your Meta Business Suite. Add a different thumbnail to it. A thumbnail can change a lot of things, which is
Yes.
crazy.
It is huge.
Like,
It is
it
huge.
can change it.
Like
Yeah.
I want to touch on thumbnails for a bit because this is something that people completely forget. You go into like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and like you actually have to put thought into your thumbnails in order for your content to push. If you just post something and let AI pick your thumbnail, it's gonna be like, yeah, this person's lazy. Like that's literally like how the algorithm is working. It's like, yeah, this person's not really caring about it, so we're not gonna really care about it. You're already putting yourself into the B and C category.
Yeah.
So one of the big things that like I talk about in regards to thumbnails is
Mhm.
what is your video about? put something engaging in it and create it in Canva, utilize your sources, like just describe what the video is about in an image, and then make it engaging. Use a shocked face. Use something that people are not going to expect out of you. And that's going to bring people in to click on the video. And it's like, and not only that, like the hook of the video. In order to have a successful video, you need to have a good thumbnail, a good hook, and then a good close, because it's going to bring the whole thing full circle. And a lot of people forget how to do that.
Yeah, and your hook should be 3 to 5 seconds long.
Yes.
And what you're saying for a hook should also be the wording on the screen.
Yes.
And the wording on the screen should not be submitted through Adobe. It should be submitted through the platform itself, whether that's Edit, CapCut, or TikTok, wherever you're uploading that content specifically. That's where you need to be adding your hook on there, and then setting a duration and letting it fall off.
Did you know that every platform, if you're uploading it from a computer, takes the title of the document name? And that's
the metadata on the back end.
The metadata on the back end. So if you just call it video 1, video 2, video 3, it's not going to work.
It doesn't know.
You have to rename it before you upload it. And I found this out back in 2022. So and it's really cool to like look at the back end of like YouTube and stuff like that. But like when you are uploading content, save it to a way that you are going to recognize that video and follow it at any point in time, because they want you to pay attention to it in case you need to do what Pink just said and reestablish and re-upload it on the back end and try and make it better. Everybody loves when you reestablish your content and you work on your content and do stuff like that, because it means the platform sees that you're caring about it. Really?
Yes, and using trial reels.
Trial reels, yes.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see you care about it. So
yeah, because trial reels specifically, it makes it where when you're uploading to trial reels, it doesn't live on your page. No one can see it. Your active followers, they don't see it. This is for new audiences. This is for repurposing of content. This is for call to actions.
Yes.
So that's what trial reels is. It's really trying to drive new audiences back to your existing content. And a lot of people don't know how to use it properly, which is totally okay. I mean, I didn't when it came out either. But it is a great tool. And yes, for the metadata on the back end, a lot of content creators also need to understand too, if you're editing in CapCut and then you're exporting that video and then you're uploading that video, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they all know you put that into CapCut and that you did not use their TikTok software, or you did not use edits and then cross-share to Instagram and Facebook. They know. So you're suppressed.
Yes.
Because you didn't use their software.
Everybody wants you to use their own individualized software throughout it, including TikTok, which is why, like, when you see people blow up on TikTok, it's their dancing videos. It's their Brooke Monks of the world. It's their, like, it's stuff like that. It's like, they see what you're doing inside of the platform. It's how to properly do a transition video on TikTok. Like this brings me back to like what I used to do in 2018, like as people were fully discovering what TikTok was. It's you utilize the stuff that they have inside the browser, inside like their editing software. They're gonna immediately be like, oh yeah, you're using our stuff, I like you. I want to push your stuff because this is our stuff. I like you. And that's everything.
Yes, and also like turning on like the features on the back end too. Like on Instagram specifically, like if you type in early on top 3 buttons on the right-hand side and type in early in that search bar and it pops up early access, that means you're going to get access to all the upcoming free features that no one else is going to have access to. Now, that is based off your engagement. So if you have high engagement, then they know that you're probably going to use their upcoming reels that they're going to be launching, or like they just launched the reels to like a connector reel. So you can take one reel, upload it, and then add it to go back to another one. The same way you can do it on YouTube. Facebook is just now catching up, but you can now do that. And that was a feature that was dropped a couple weeks ago. And that's now out of alpha and everybody has access to it. But if you were underneath that early release, then you would be able to utilize it moving forward. And a lot of these businesses too, all these social media platforms, if you use their back-end modules, you will get outreach to if you have your email in your bio. They will reach out to you for a one-on-one call. Like I had a phone call with Meta the other day. They called my cell phone that they had on file just to see how I was doing because I used their software. That's it. They wanted to see if I liked it still and what I would change. And I mean, mind you, I'm going to be honest here. I only have 11.1 thousand followers on Instagram. That's it. So it's like, imagine if you were to scale past that and all the extra additions and, access you would get into just by being on these platforms.
I honestly couldn't agree more. It's like it's looking at the back end of what things do and the connectivity aspect that's been released between 2024 and on. It's so unique, man. Like you gotta like the biggest place where I see people failing is they're not using their software. Like for me, I'm not pushing my content because I'm not using their shit. I'm using DaVinci, and they don't like the fact that I'm using DaVinci, even though I like DaVinci. But what you can do is utilize DaVinci and then use something within their software. One thing, literally one thing. That's all they care. One thing.
That's it. Yeah,
you figure out what works.
I edit, hard edit, keyframe everything in Adobe Premiere Pro, and then I transfer the file onto a drive or onto a cloud because if I'm not going to be uploading directly through desktop, which you shouldn't realistically always upload through desktop. There's a time and a place for everything, and it's not always desktop. So
TikTok likes mobile uploads.
Mobile uploads. Every platform is pretty much mobile uploads, and I've tested it. There's no change. Mobile uploads.
Get yourself an iPad, connect it to internet, and go.
Yes, and making sure too that like when you're taking this content from your software, whether that's DaVinci, Adobe, and you're trying to get that to your cell phone, what we're not doing, guys, okay, is dropping it into Discord and then downloading that, or we're not dropping it into a private Slack channel just because you have free unlimited space and your Google Drive might be getting full. No, we're going to be putting these into Google Drive. We're going to be putting these into Apple Cloud.
Or Dropbox.
Like in downloading. Yes, or Dropbox.
Works.
Why are we doing this? We're doing this because every time you're putting it into a different platform and a service, you're suppressing your pixels.
Yes.
This means that it's getting blurry. So sometimes I'll do a test, right? And I know you guys saw it a couple days ago. I did a test where I uploaded my content into Notion, which is a organizational platform for project management. Anyway, so I put it in there and then I exported it and I uploaded the raw content. It was so grainy that I was like, I should probably delete this video, but it was a test. And I'm doing tests all the time on my social media. So sometimes we be posting random things, but it's like, stop suppressing your pixels. Just understand the best way to be able to upload and download, and also never, I mean never, upload a video at your house and be like, oh, I'm going to go grab a coffee. I'll be right back. And the video is not done uploading yet. And you just disconnected from your Wi-Fi to your 5G because now you just suppressed your video again.
Yep.
Because you disconnected from the stronger service because you may think your 5G is strong. No. Stay with the internet connection.
And that's another thing that people kind of like forget about is like, there's reason why people have multiple phones and multiple mobile devices. And the reason why is so we're uploading things from that phone. We're trying to get things situated. I only have one, but I have an iPad, and I also have
a couple.
I have a MacBook that for some reason counts as a mobile device. We're not even gonna ask why that's the case, but you have these types of things that you can utilize to upload content while still being connected to your own internal Wi-Fi network. Like this is getting into the really advanced sets of marketing, which I didn't even think we were going to get to this point, which I think is really cool. But like when you pay attention to device management, everybody has a cybersecurity platform now, especially Meta, especially Google, aka YouTube. When we say Google, we really mean YouTube because that's what the platform's based off of. And then TikTok, which is ByteDance, like they all have their
ByteDance.
own cybersecurity and back-end software that's able to read MAC addresses. MAC addresses is how every single device is defined, whether your microphone has a MAC address, your computer has a MAC address, your phone has a MAC address, your computer has a MAC address, like anything that's connected to your computer has a MAC address. That's a physical device acknowledgement system that is utilized inside of all devices. Is getting into cybersec because that's where my home is.
Right.
They pay attention to the devices that you are utilizing in what's going on. Like if you, for example, if I make a video about Elgato, it's going to blow the hell up. Why? Because I'm using an Elgato Facecam, I'm using an Elgato Wave 3, I'm using an Elgato Stream Deck, and I'm using an Elgato capture card, and everything is pushed into the metadata of that video. And they're going to know this is what I have, this is what I'm using, this is why it's working, and we're going to make it work. Yeah. So that is a very advanced style of marketing that a lot of people don't even think of.
Correct. And that's a perfect like example of like my Fi-Fine podcast. I did a tank and I did a K688 video, and I recorded one of them using a Shure SM7B, not even using the original product that was sent in the hook of the video. Okay. Now, the next video, I used the tank Fi-Fine podcast mix the entire time. Like I didn't even showcase the Shure SM7B audio in comparison to the tank. And that video did better and made more sales than me starting with this mic and then moving into a K688. So it's all super granular, and it's a lot of information for everybody to take in, because it does take many, many years. And this industry is changing daily.
Yeah,
like
daily.
It is a lot to keep up.
If you want to be successful in this industry, the biggest thing that I can recommend, it's like, so when marketing aspects are paying attention to your videos, they want to pay attention to, number one, the content quality of your video. That's number one. Number two is the style of how you're creating those videos, the SEO metrics and stuff like that. But I want to focus on the style of content first. Bad Bear Gamer popped onto my podcast and said it best, and this still applies today in 2025. When you're trying to create content, we talked about the hook, right? There's also the 3 E's of content. The 3 E's are you creating educational content for people to kind of look to see what's going on, see how things are working, and like, well, for example, like in the COD industry, you use it to create meta loadout videos. So you're saying this is the meta loadout, this is educational content that you're releasing for the public, for everybody to see what you use. The second E is empathetic. So you're appealing to people's emotions. It's like, I want to be good at COD, but I don't have the controller, so I'm going to go buy a brand new scuffed controller, and now I'm great at this content. Now you should do it too. Now, not only are you appealing to people's emotions, you're now appealing to a brand's sense, and it's going to see that, and it's going to push that. And then there's yours and my style of content, which is energetic and enthusiastic content. So that is is it goofy? Is it funny? Is it engaging? Is it making people like laugh? Like, I'm going to go into search and destroy, and I'm going to run around and I'm going to make people laugh their freaking their asses off, because that is what I do. And I make them angry COD nerds eventually turn around and say, this was the most fun game of COD I ever had. And then you see them add me. That's my style of content. That's what I like to do. You appeal to them in a different way in Warzone and how you do things, and people laugh and people enjoy it. And that's why I like your style of content. And that's why I even found you to begin with. I was it like 2 years ago now. But
I know, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
I mean, he's got the 3 and I got 3 too. So I mean, I think it's all dependent on the content creator. So like, I 100% agree with him. I have the hook, the value, and the payoff. If you don't have 3 of those, like, you're just uploading to keep the algorithm happy, because the algorithm is like a really bad relationship. It wants, and the moment you stop, it's like, I'm over it. And then you have to suffer for the next 3 weeks.
So one of the things I want to bring up real quick is, why are we stressing content when we're talking about marketing? Because content is what brings people into your streams.
Yeah.
So we're talking about marketing. We're talking about what we can do to push ourselves and allow ourselves to be seen, because the more people who see what we put out are the more people who are going to filter into your live streams and be like, hey, I saw your video on YouTube and it was great. Or I saw your video on TikTok and it made me laugh and I wanted to actually see it happen firsthand. That's why that's why I joined her live stream 2 years ago. That's exactly why I did it. She said, I forget the video, what it was, but she did something that was really funny. And I'm like, dude, this is great. And then I was there ever since, watching her do Warzone and play with people. And another thing when it comes to streaming, the streaming platforms are going to pick up on the people that you play with, which is why a lot of people do things solo. So if you have the same wavelengths going through the streaming software, and that's going to retain viewership, meaning the number of views are going to go up. This is the advanced level of marketing we're talking about. Twitch is going to see that and be like, oh, this person's wavelength makes this person, this number go up. We like this. We're going to push this. And people say Twitch has zero viewership. No, like they do. Like these podcasts will never get pushed anywhere, but they get pushed on Spotify and podcast platforms because I'm bringing new people in every time. But when I talk, the number will eventually go up of people who are paying attention. And I'm not saying pay attention to your viewers. That's not what I mean.
Yeah.
Twitch and YouTube and Kick, they are paying attention to your numbers. You just have to pay attention to the content that you're putting forward.
That's it. That is all you got.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we talk about live streaming. We talk about when we post content. We talk about the little tidbits of the tricks of the trade. So when you post content, what's that strategic, or what is strategic versus what is fun? What makes you want to make that style of content, and what makes you want to change a direction?
So I make content based off a whim. So I'm a little different than a lot of content creators. Like normally content creators are pretty structured. They know that I'm going to stay in this niche and I'm going to make this content every single week. Me, I'm sporadic. I never know what I'm doing, but if I have a schedule on my Notion that's all gaming content, so I do have that structured. So like every single day around 6:45 a.m. I make a gaming clip. So for the week or the month, right? I have so much gaming clips, it's pathetic. But
we love gaming clips though.
So I'll take that and I upload one every single day. Every day doesn't fail ever. And then in the afternoon is like, okay, day in my life, we did the morning thing, or I pull the content that I recorded from yesterday. So some of the content that's actually being uploaded in real time isn't even from that day. So it'll be a couple of days ago where, day in my life content, boom, upload that in the afternoon. And then I hit the people just getting off work. You're on your way home, you're stuck in traffic, you're having dinner with your family, you're probably going to be scrolling on social media. That's going to be another post, and most likely that's going to be rage bait. It's going to be skits, or it's going to be brand deals or contracts that I already have in place, because I have some contracts that are yearly contracts, so I have to upload. And so all of that is structured. But if I see a reel or a video and I'm like, that's going to go viral because it has a good hook, it has everything I need. It's funny, it's comedy, it's catchy. It's something that I'm going to say on stream now moving forward, but maybe it's just starting to go viral, but it hasn't fully hit its peak yet. I'm going to take that, I'm going to make it my own, we're going to change it, and we're going to re-upload it. And that's exactly what happened with the drafted video. So I made a drafted video where I was talking about, and this was on a whim randomly, unless my boyfriend told me to do it, which is a high possibility, but my brain's always short. So so we ended up making a drafted video where I was like, if you push an entire squad in Rebirth Island and you say, I got this, and then you die, drafted. Like, you're wasting my time, you're drafted. And so that was a big skit and it was funny. Everybody loved it. And that video, the creator that initially did that, it was military-based content for being drafted around relationships and sports, that went viral as well. So they both worked hand in hand with each other, and it really paid off because That video, I think, got 4 million views, made me a couple $100 on one platform, and it went viral on every platform. And then I doubled down and I created another video, and then that's where I left it, because once the second video didn't do as good as the first video, I'm not wasting any more of my time. I'm going on to the next trending topic. I'm not going to try to make something my new niche when creating content is in the now.
Right.
So like, if I'm going to create something, what I make today may not do good in 2 months, but what I also make today could pop off in 2 months. So that's why we don't delete things, and that's why we constantly are changing things. But we also need to understand too that TikTok is a very niche platform. Instagram has like 2 to 3 different kind of pillars that you can feed yourself into. Those selfies of making you look great at a mansion or wherever the hell you're going to be. And then you got your Reels section where you can highlight and do all your comedy skit, your get to know me, whatever. Then you have your stories on those platforms as well. And then you have Facebook. Facebook is very much content forward with Reels.
Mm-hmm.
Carousels are huge, and people need to be using those. But I'm going to throw in a curveball at you right
Sure.
now.
No, go for it.
This is a little crazy.
No, we're ready.
So a lot of people don't know this, but if you are a content creator, on the back end of your Meta Business Suite, it tells you what to post to go viral every day. And you have certain amount of deliverables, whether that's what you want for reach. Like mine's always for reach, not for monetary value. If I wanted monetary value on the back end, I would hit a button. But what it is. So it's called content monetization. And what
Mm-hmm.
content monetization is it gives you a section on your Meta Business Suite, and it gives you a calendar. You have 7 days to complete these challenges. It's like achievements, but it's with uploading content and engagement. So if you upload 12 reels, this is underneath the reach category, so it's pushing you out to more people. You would have to post 12 reels a week. You would have to post 3 carousels, 1 picture, and then upload, I think it's like 3 or 4 story posts for the week, and then gain 100 followers. Once you do that, it's going to push you to like 40, 60, 100, 2, 3, 4, 500,000 people for that next week. So as long as you're doing those weekly challenges on the back end of your Meta Business Suite, and this also goes for Instagram, so don't think it doesn't, and then you can grow both of those platforms with the same content, with the same strategy, at the same time, just boosting the shit out of your reach.
Absolutely.
A
And
lot of people don't know that.
well, another thing on top of that is log in once a day. Log in once a
Literally.
day. Because if you log into Meta Business Suite, they're going to say, oh,
Mhm.
yeah, he's serious. Same thing with YouTube. And I'm going to blow your mind for a second from probably not yours. You probably are like, yeah, I know this, blah, blah, blah. But
I was
so
interested.
so YouTube is now officially implemented a brand new feature. It's their YouTube AI. I did something that I thought was really cool because I wanted to see what was going on with it. Like if you go into YouTube and you go into the YouTube studio and you look at your content, ask it what to post. It will tell you
Yes.
what to post. And when you post it, it'll blow up. So that prop hunt
Yes.
video that I posted a couple days ago, actually it was a couple weeks ago, I asked it, I'm like, hey, so based off of your review of my content, Mr. AI YouTube dude, what do you think I should post next? And it gave me a list of a bunch of things. It's like, based off of your profile, you like Call of Duty, and a lot of your content that goes really well is actually prop hunt. So you should start posting more prop hunt videos. So I posted
Yeah.
it, and it's at 10K views. And I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? And
It's
that was in
easy.
day one. That was in day one.
Yeah, so it works hand in hand with Facebook as well, if we're just kind of going back to Facebook really
Sure.
quick.
Yeah,
So
no, by all means.
if you upload content on Facebook and you're typing in a caption and you go, I want to make this caption better, but I don't really want to go to ChatGPT because I want to use the in-app platform, like their models. They
Yes.
have an AI filter on, it literally says it. It says, write this for me or something like that. So you type a bunch of information in, and then what it's going to do is it's going to populate SEO text, search engine optimization, and then it's going to give you the hashtags, and you're going to take that. It's going to automatically replace what you had, put that in there, and then you hit that post button. and it's going to make your video do better because you're using the AI model.
And we keep
Because it's a
pushing
new
back.
feature.
We keep drawing back to the same point: is utilize the features that are posted within each platform. And like that's
Yeah.
really, I don't want to say it's a secret because it's not a secret, but that's the stuff that we should be doing as content creators day in and day out. So I'm in this weird position, right? And like we kind of talked about this before we went live. I was like, I'm now in a weird spot where I'm like, you know what? I'm deciding whether or not I want to be serious with content or not. So, and I know that's not like the greatest thing to say on a podcast, but I'm deciding whether I was deciding if it was time for me to just, you know what, let's hit the button. Let's actually do this. And I made this decision. I'm like, you know what? As of a week ago, as of DreamHack, I'm going to be serious now. I'm going to start taking things serious. I'm going to start actually taking my videos, editing baseline, utilizing CapCut because they love the actual automatic captions from CapCut. That's the only thing you should ever use from CapCut. And then utilize the in-house business suites in like whatever platform you're using to edit some small thing. Like on TikTok, is even if you add like a little text thing and then move it off the screen.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
It will still post, like, and this goes for any platform. Say something in the SEO metric and you move it off the actual like visual screen. It will still post, it'll clip, it'll be like, oh yeah, you're using my stuff, I like you. You keep going back to this because it is so important.
Yeah, what I do is I take my caption on every single video, fun fact chat, and I take it and I post it as if I'm putting text over my video. I shrink it all the way down and I slide that right off the screen. So I'm like, no matter what, I'm like double SEOing myself, realistically, because it's reading on the screen and it's also reading in the caption. So we can see it. And then if I am hypothetically, let's say I'm uploading a story, I will add the audio. And a lot of people will keep that audio box right on the screen. Yeah, not me. Drag it off. I don't even want to see it because it's still there. I just don't need you to click on it. I don't make money for you clicking on it.
Also,
what I make money on is you listening.
Add the trending audio and then mute the trending audio too. Like
yes, that's great if you are like, let's say we're making a video in Call of Duty and you're playing some type of audio as comedy over the mic, and we know that that's an FX sound clip or something that's trendable right now on those platforms. We're just going to take that and we're going to add the audio so we don't get DMCA copyright, and we're going to turn it all the way off.
It's a huge thing.
Because it's still giving credit.
It's a huge thing on like these different platforms, like with utilizing the stuff that they actually have to offer. And like everybody keeps saying, it's like, hey, just post content, because that's the beginning. That's step A. Once you consistently post content, then you should start doing all this advanced metric stuff that we're talking about here. This advanced SEO things. Like you can only use 5 hashtags, but you know what? Hashtag bliss, hashtag great, hashtag COD, hashtag car98. Make it super small, slide it off the screen.
Yes, and also keeping in mind too, like some hashtags are banned.
Yes.
So like
FYP.
A lot of people,
FYP,
no
one likes
don't
it.
use it. And so many people are still using hashtag FYP. Why?
I do
it
as a
doesn't make any
troll.
sense.
I do because I'm a troll. Because I really want to see if I can make it work with still having hashtag FYP.
It doesn't.
I know, it doesn't work. I really want it to. It doesn't work.
No. Yeah, so there's that, like, and then there's also websites where you can drop all your hashtags in and it'll tell you which ones are banned, which ones are most likely to go viral, which ones are going viral right now. Like there are platforms that tell you. It's just a lot of these platforms are gatekept.
And they're gatekept for a reason. Now, I have to say this because the big thing in the streamer Twitter world right now, and I know you're not on Twitter, so you're saving yourself from this, is don't gatekeep information that's going to help people be better. Well, you know what? There's a reason why certain things are gatekept, and the reason why it's gatekept is because it's supposed to be behind a paywall. You got to understand that. If it's a great product, there's a reason. Yeah. It will never not be behind a paywall, and there's a reason why it's behind a paywall.
Yeah. So. Like I use an app that I'm not going to tell you, and I've never told anybody the name of the app, but I get paid to share to my stories. I get paid to comment on business posts. I get paid to just interact with it. Leave it a heart. Cool. Repost it for $20. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
by all means, go
Share
for
th
it.
share right, share an Instagram post my story for 15. Cool. Done. And I mean, I'm banking like $100, $150 a day. And I'm not even doing anything. I'm just sharing and commenting, and it's all based off follower count. But the funny thing is these are all UGC contracted deals. So every time you
Mhm.
guys are seeing these UGC contracts of here's this new whitening tooth thing that's on TikTok Shop, and you're like, God damn, they get a lot of engagement. They're paying for it. It's people like me going in and commenting for a paycheck. We actually don't care. We have fonts that are already popped up and we hit a copy button and we just post it and then we get paid because it's engagement.
I
That's what
am
they're
nowhere near
paying
this
for.
point yet, guys. I am nowhere near this point. This is something
And
that
it's
she's been
great.
doing, but I want you guys to, I want to actually let her talk about this stuff because this is huge things of the places that you can go, of the things that you can do. And there's reason why certain things are kept the way they are, and there are reasons why certain aspects are gate kept. Because if
Yes,
everybody starts using that app, why are you going to pay a million people $20 to start reposting things to your story? From a business
exactly. And then it
perspective,
gets
why does that
flooded.
make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, and it gets flooded, right? Like, there is quantities on these. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like sometimes they only have a budget for 200 content creators to go in and, repost for $50. And it's like $50 for a repost sounds insane, but these businesses are B2B, B2C. Like, they got money. So
Yes.
it doesn't matter. They got like that fuck you money, and I'm in there to take it like all those other content creators. But if we end up flooding them, they're going to limit. They're going to be like, "Oh, well, you can't do 15 reposts today." Because gosh, we have so many content creators now. So it's just easier to not say it. So I do tell my clients or athletes or etc., any other content creators, when it seems fit and that they don't share the information, we do share the information. But it's just one of those things you have to kind of pick and choose the creator that
Yes.
you share it to.
And it's
Yeah.
about, you have to really put yourself in the like creative mindset of like, this is
Mhm.
a business for everybody. This is our livelihood.
Yeah.
And when you get to a certain point, when you start actually getting beyond the base metrics and base understanding of algorithms, there's different levels of the way things are. Like
Yeah.
ESPN does it their own way, Facebook does it their own way, Google does it their own way.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm speaking in something that on something that I don't inherently understand completely. So I'm only because I know about it because I have friends who are in that industry and friends that do that thing. So that's why I'm saying the stuff that I'm saying right now. I
Mhm.
don't know any of these apps. I don't know any of these things. I've only decided a couple weeks ago that I'm going to be taking content from a serious perspective and start actually
Yeah.
putting myself out there from a monetization perspective. And to do that, you still have to reach a base level of metrics. So don't think when we tell people to post, because we want you to post, the more people utilize the platform, the more they're going to start pushing your content first because you've been utilizing it more.
Yeah.
And the closer you are going to get at that point to monetization, which is why not everybody is monetized at the exact same point.
Right.
So,
And that's why features slow roll.
right.
Because that's why sometimes you're like, "Hey, I have the edits app," and then you go on your friend's account and they don't have the edits app, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Why?" Because it's on the Play Store, so they or the Apple iOS store, like, it's all there, it's just you don't have access to even use it. So, yeah, but there's a lot. When it comes to content creation, I don't think we could fit it all in,
No,
but,
there's no way.
there's no way, because I mean, we haven't even touched on monetization. We haven't even
Yes.
touched on, like, branding,
And branding
brand
is a huge
collaboration.
topic. Because we are going to touch
It
on
is.
branding next. That was my next move. So one of the things I want to say here before we even get there is when you run a podcast, I said this yesterday, you need to have a list of things that you're going to talk about. And I have that fucking list. I'll tell you what. But you know what? it's but anyways, yeah. So we will touch on branding very shortly. But anyways, I'll let her continue.
Yeah. No, there's
Mhm.
there's just a lot of different things in content creation, and I know a lot of content creators reach out to me, and I mean, we're talking daily basis, Okay. And it's all about brand collaborations and how do I get them? What do I do? How do I execute on a contract once I get it? What is a good contract and what's a bad contract? Um, I mean, I know people in chat, I'm not going to call you out, but you know who you are. He signed a 5-year contract deal where they take his money. And it's like there's certain things that newer content creators don't know that is great for them to know. Um, and understanding a contract is very important. Understanding what UGC stands for. Also understanding your value when it comes to these businesses, because like I was telling you earlier, there are some companies in here, not in this chat specifically, but I know you're probably watching, in the future video that you're gonna post. So they will charge you. They will be like, "Hey, for 30 videos a month, okay? 30 videos based around our white toothing product, we're gonna pay you $1,000 to $1,500, but you have to follow X, Y, and Z," and they'll send you a big old document
Yes.
of what you're supposed to follow to a T, and they will make you do unlimited revisions if they don't like the way you look, the way you sound. You are literally like their trophy in that moment for $1,000 to $1,500. So what a lot of content creators will do is they will be like, "Oh, I'm desperate. I really need the money. I haven't done this before, so I'm not really sure I really want to dip my toes in." And $1,000 to $1,500 is great. But then they hit the point of, "Oh my God, I have screwed myself over. How am I supposed to make 30 videos? When are they supposed to be delivered? How do I upload them? Am I following their campaign brief like to a T so I don't have to remake these videos?" Because once you start getting into it, you're really going to realize 30 videos is probably going to take you from conception to execution to editing, uploading, approvals, revisions, and IP approval. You're probably looking at 40, 50 hours worth for
At
about,
least.
yeah, for like $1,000 to $1,500. Now that's still good, but that's if you know how to make the content. If you don't know how to make the content, you're going to be on Google for an extra 5. You're going to be talking back and forth with the marketing director to figure out what is going on, because 9 times out of 10, these people are not in America.
Right.
They are over in the UK, they're over in different countries, and you're going to have to wait on them. But you have a deadline, so you don't have time to wait. And that's going to add extra stress. And is the stress worth $1,000?
So
No.
it's beyond that too, because you have to submit it by like week 1 in order to get it back for a revision
Yes.
by week 3, and that's what we mean
And
by
then
like the whole
everything's
brand
timed.
deal. Yeah, it's all
It's
time.
all timed. Yeah, so you have
And
to
now
be
you have to
very
do
careful.
it right the second time, because you won't even have time to make it the third.
No, you'll be rushing. It'll be like day of recording, hoping that you make it. And if you don't make it and that video gets declined, they don't legally have to pay you because you didn't hold up your end of the contract. And that's a fine gray line. And then that's where you're seeing a lot of content creators come out on TikTok and they're like, "Well, I made this video, I submitted it, they didn't like it, they're not paying me." Well, your video probably was dog shit. And that's why, because you rushed it, because you're taking on too many 30 contracts all at the same time and you don't have enough time to keep up. So what I do, I structure everything into different categories. So if I'm going to do a voiceover ad for a game development company like Paper.io or Marvel Rivals, I will book the contract a month in advance based off the creative brief. So they send me the creative brief, we sign an NDA, everything starts moving forward. And I tell them my price point. I charge anywhere from $100 to $350 per video per 15 seconds. I know that's crazy. I don't want to talk about it. So,
It's
so,
not
and
crazy,
then,
but it's your price point. So,
yeah, so that's my price point for all of my videos, and I can broker videos in bigger quantities. So 9 times out of 10, we go back and forth on the creative brief. I sit in the meeting very first time before I will record content. I sit in the call with them and I go, "What is the tone that you're looking for?" That's brand tone and audience tone. Those are different. So then I outreach, get all that information compiled. I ask them for their deadlines, their dates, when they want to submit it by, and I set my own revision timelines. You only get 2 revisions if you're working with me. I am not doing more than that. We've already outlined the structure and we're moving forward with it. And these are going to align. If they don't align because you don't like my hair, fuck off. So it's a much easier that way. Um, but a lot of content creators will get in that loop of trying to keep up and then posting that they're burnt out. But realistically, it's just because they're so green and they're so new that they don't understand the structure yet.
And a lot of
And
people
that's
don't.
where those yeah, and that's where like I built a course around this and I don't charge for it because it's so needed in this industry of why you need to hit your campaign deadline. Because if you are late on your campaign deadline and I'm next in line, I'm waiting on you. You're costing me money. So it's like if you're going to accept a brand collaboration and you're working with a company like Five Fine or Technisport, and they say you have until the 19th to submit the video and it needs to be final because they're uploading on the 21st, that needs to be accomplished or do not take the brand deal at all if you know that you have something upcoming. Um, but yes, so I created a course, I kind of outlined everything, and I send it to content creators all the time. And it's just really, really useful. And I don't charge for that because I feel like knowledge is power in this industry, and gatekeeping certain things is completely fine. But also providing the information and knowledge that they need right out the gate without having to spend 500 hours on YouTube University or deep dive in LinkedIn for the perfect contact to get a hold of. It's just easier to have it in one place and pulling from a bunch of different sources that are verified.
And that's what people forget about. Like when you are in a brand and you are working with a brand, you are on the brand's time and they are also on your time. It's a literal, so get yourself someone who can read it. If you have to get a lawyer, get a lawyer. If you can't do it yourself, like honestly, like I highly recommend that every content creator that goes from, I call it like a tertiary level. Like I could touch on like my mindset for this, like forever, and I'm not going to because we don't have that amount of time. But in short, like if you're working with a brand, make sure you read the contract, make sure you know what you're getting yourself into so you don't burn yourself out and you don't overwhelm yourself. And like I'm still in phase 1. I want to make this very clear. I am a very green creator. I have very minimal amount of followers. I don't have high view counts, and that's okay. It wasn't my goal, and it might be my goal in the future. But right now, my goal is to start making a mindset change into making things serious. So I want to make that very clear where I'm at. Pink here is on the upper echelon of this, where she understands exactly what she's worth. She understands her worth. She works with brands, and she has brands that really want to work with her. So there's a different level of competence in the content space from our areas of where we're at. But we still talk. And the reason why we talk is because even where I'm at, she has things to learn from me and I have things to learn from her.
Yes, exactly. And knowledge is power. Like, like it really is. And a lot of people, they get ego headed when it comes to a lot of it. There's a lot of ego behind it. And I've gotten really lucky my entire life that, I've been in this industry 22 years. I've been in it fucking forever. Okay. I've been on billboards. I've been on TV shows. I've done all the things.
And I don't even want to
it's
get
like,
to that point.
it's exhausting. Yeah, it sucks. Just a little bit. But yeah, like it's never gotten to a point for me where it was like an ego trip. I've always been on the same playing field as everybody else. And I feel like a lot of people lose that in content creation really, really fast. And you'll notice it when you go into people's chats and they have followers and views, but they only answer the people who are donating. They won't even look at any other comment unless it's something negative. And then you'll see it because that's a clip.
Yes.
Everything is strategic as you grow. And I never got to that point of, and I mean, I used to have 3,000 viewers concurrent, and I would still actively read my chat. So I've just been really grateful to have like such a great community and other content creators that I work with. And I mean, some that have millions of followers, way bigger than I would ever be. And they still outreach to me about the minorest things. Hey, Pink, my text monetization on Meta Business Suite isn't working. Or, hey, my Instagram disconnected from my cross posting on Meta, even though I know I don't want to cross post because you should not be cross posting, even though the option's there to stop doing it. And
don't cross post.
Do not do it. And then they will be like, hey, I need someone to help me, but I've had a support ticket for 3 weeks and Meta's not helping me. I also do Meta support. So it makes it a lot easier just kind of being your authentic self and just helping people when you see fit, but also understanding that people like me are very small and in between. There's not many pinks. And I will say that wholeheartedly because every business I've ever spoken to has said that they have never experienced someone who can come into their business, take it, run, and fix every single social media problem that they've been battling with, whether that's a support ticket, Google My Business page has been down and they can't gain access to it, and they got some business trying to charge them $1,500 for a blue check mark that is free, by the way. And it's just like I've gotten to the point where I wanted to learn everything. I wanted to take every single certificate course I could on Google. I wanted to take those courses on my free time, which I don't have a lot of it, and really just understand the ins and outs of every single platform, uploading technology from SaaS technology to user journeys all the way up to UX UI. I wanted to know how to do it because then that makes me a powerhouse. That also adds value to my pocket and just to myself being able to go into a meeting. And it just really makes me feel more secure when I am having to be flown out to talk in front of panels about businesses that I'm not fully understanding who they are or what they are, but they're paying me to get their next round of funding. Because I can go in and I can talk to these investors to help them understand the landscape of social media at a rate that they can comprehend, being 65, 80, etc., whether that means I have to reference sport talk or I'm talking about golf or the stock market or whatever it may be to help them understand why their business is failing on social media because they just don't comprehend it because it moves so quickly. But they also don't trust anybody that is a marketing company because all they want to do is use them. So that's where I get pulled in a lot on all those conversations. But I'm just glad I get to help people and help them understand. But it is very hard. I do get outreach to a lot, a lot by people trying to get help constantly because I also do professional setups for productions for, OBS, Studio, vMix, etc. Full bumper to bumper services. I work
Jeez.
with Patrick Willis and Trey Lance.
So Pink taught me some amazing things about OBS, and like it was very. We were having a conversation. I want to touch on this because you mentioned OBS stuff.
Yeah.
Like Pink actually, we were sitting in a Discord call because I was helping her with something, and she decided to show me ROI. She just started to show me in a region of interest, not return on investment. So.
Correct.
Region of interest in regards to like my scenes and stuff to get better frame rates and to get stuff going. There's stuff that people didn't even know about, and there's like advanced things within OBS that you can kind of put. There's filters. She even taught me about LUTs, and I don't know shit about LUTs, but like
Yeah.
to put things in perspective, it's like when you actually make a proper connection and you are enthusiastically, authentically yourself, even somebody where I'm at can actually talk to someone where Pink's at and create a connection. So you have to put yourself out there. That's a different level of networking that people don't even think about. Networking the right way. So
yes. And I mean, value's got to go both ways.
Yes.
It's the exact same thing in a friendship. It's the exact same thing in a relationship. Value needs to be added on both sides.
It has
so
to.
if you're Yes. So it's like if you're going and you're talking to a content creator and you're just trying to grow within their community and you have no value to them, but they have all the value to you, that's not going to move any forward. You're going to hit a wall and you're going to be like, that content creator is an asshole and I don't even want to watch him anymore. But the value has to work on both sides. And that because realistically, at the end of the day, a lot of people say, I do this for fun. I don't do this for money. This is a business.
It is.
Period.
It's your own
It is a
personal business.
Yes, and people really need to comprehend that. You can say, I don't do it for the money, etc. I mean, last year and the year before that and the year before that and the year before that, I was bankrolling with all my side jobs, okay? I literally did not do it for the money. I did it for community engagement and I did it for networking. I also did it because I work from home. I don't have humans around me. So this was always like a good extra addition. But when you see majority of those content creators going, well, I don't do it for the money, and that's all they talk about. That's all they like, they hone on that. They think that that's going to suck you right in because gosh, you don't do it for the money.
She's talking
And
to
it's
my
like,
heart right now, chat.
like I can't stand that. That's like
Mhm.
people pushing charity events that go to causes where they don't actually fix anything. It's the exact same thing, and that's why I always say like it needs to add value. If you
Yes.
don't add value to me, I probably don't add value to you. Like,
It,
and that's just how it works. That's why entertainment is my lead driver in my stream, my broadcast, my vibe on social media because entertainment vibes with everybody. And some people may not want to talk to me about the back end of Meta Business Suite or all these ins and outs of SaaS technology and how to scale and grow a business. But they do find me shitting on a guy and completely dittying him against a wall pretty funny.
and it is
And so
funny.
don't I. Yeah, and it's like I enjoy that side. But I also have like Pink is a persona. Pink is comedy. She's entertainment. She's a good time. She's the one that's going to take body shots and also talk shit and play video games with you. And then you have Brooke and Pink together. And those are a powerhouse of business knowledge and entertainment all in the same time. And that's where my production side comes in.
Mhm.
That's where I go out and I entertain these athletes and I bring businesses to local NIL activation events and they play video games, okay, while also doing content with businesses that are on site. So I'll get businesses, they come in, they give them free ice shakers with Chris Gronkowski. And they also are sponsored by EA because now they're going to be playing EA Madden 25. Well, I'm also working on getting them licensed to be in the game, which is a year contract, by the way. And it's like, so I kind of mix both of them. But then when I go into like big business calls, big corporate meetings where I have to walk on a panel and talk and actually be Brooke. Then Brooke comes in. So it's like content creators are different personas. And
Yes.
a lot of people try to say, oh, this is me. This is my authentic self. I'm so and so. No, when that camera goes off, you're still that content creator. You're just that content creator in a different light. And that's okay. It is completely okay. You just have to understand that there are two sides of you as a content creator, and being okay with both of them and being willing to showcase both of them is going to make you more authentic to your community.
And I say this a little differently, especially for the newer creators. We this is a world, the content is a world of space where we wear many hats. I literally
Yeah.
have so many hats behind us. And like I say it like this because this is how it makes sense. We are our own audio engineers. We are our own technical support engineers. We are our own marketing professionals. We are our own business management professionals. We are our own like artistic endeavors, our own video editors, our own auditory engineers. Like we do it all and we put it into our brand. For me, I'm
Yeah.
Perk. I'm the fat 30-year-old who's gonna make you laugh until you pee your pants, and then I'm gonna laugh at you for peeing your pants. Because that's just who I am, and that's what I wanted, and that's I want to bring smiles to everybody who's involved. I'm the guy who's gonna spread positivity and only talk about things that I truly know. And it's where I want to touch and give you guys my ethos of why I'm even having this discussion and talking on things like this. I have a business degree. That was my first degree. I have 2 degrees, one in computer science, and the other one is going to be in business.
Mhm.
I'm a failed business person.
Same.
I also failed communications. But here I am talking with you in front of a camera on a podcast, and I'm putting myself out there in a completely different manner and talking about marketing and business deals. But
Yep.
it's a whole different thing. I also have a vast knowledge about IT infrastructure and technology and cybersecurity and background stuff like that. I have many certifications that I could list off, but I'm not going to. But that's where my ethos is. That's who I am. That's what I do. And that's why I wanted to actually bring somebody like Pink to discuss something like marketing that no one actually thinks about how important marketing is as a content creator. Like, you have your level of content creators that'll just post content and they're like, why am I not growing? Well, here's the podcast. We're telling you why you're not growing, because there are a little things more that you will learn over time that will help you grow.
Yeah, and sizing's a big issue too. Like a lot of people don't even size their content right.
I don't even know anything about sizing, so I'll let you speak on that. So
perfect. Well, I create a document, I'll send it to you.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's so many different sizings from 1960 by 1080, 1080 by 1960,
Oh, you
and
mean by
then
physical
carousel
sizing.
sizings,
Gotcha.
physical sizings of content.
Gotcha.
Like I know a lot of people will be like, "Hey, I was streaming on Twitch, and now I'm just gonna upload the content that they gave me in the vertical format on the back end of the platform." Now, while that sounds amazing, I would love for that to actually work. But nothing's ever sized properly. So like your face is either going to be like super close to the screen and it's going to make you look like you're eating your camera,
Which I
or
like to do.
or like it's like not even going to be sized. So it's going to be like the whole gameplay and then your camera is going to be half broken. And people will upload that. And I think we need to be more aware.
Yes.
Because yes, there is a time and place for raw, bad content like that. Like if it's really funny or you just don't really know how to edit, fine, fill the feed. But at the same time, you also can't beat yourself up about not getting views, because ultimately all that is a download. That's a download and an edit in an app cut, edits, whatever. Even if you don't have a computer, you do not need a computer to be a content creator. And I feel like that's another big pain point, like aside from editing and uploading. And I tell my athletes all the time, stop thinking you need to have a computer to create content.
$54 a month, you can do a Shadow PC. I have to mention that. Shadow PC, there's your 3080.
Yeah, Shadow PCs are great. And it's like that works for, content creation and traveling on the go and not being able to really like afford a big old heavy, duty computer. But with my athletes specifically, they have a cell phone. You have a cell phone. You have ideas. If you don't have an idea, populate one. Go into the back end of any platform, see what's trending, populate it, make it your own. And it's that easy. Turn content into skits. That's honestly how the skits started on my channel. I didn't know what to post one day. And I populated an AI prompt through Facebook, and then boom, I went viral. All over a stupid 15-second skit I made that took me 5 minutes of moving my camera into different spots in my house. That was it.
You want to know?
And
oh, sorry, go
you
ahead.
just got to create it. No, you're good. They just have to create it. Like, that's all it is. And it's going to take you time to get comfortable in front of a camera, but just know you don't always have to be in front of a camera. And just to end before you take over on this point, when it comes to creating content, a lot of people focus on one. Don't. Do multiple platforms at the same time. And when I say that, I mean like I have an Instagram Pink account that has my gaming content, that has my real life content on it. And then I also have an IRL content. My IRL is behind the scenes, BTS, lifestyle, production, where I'm going, what me and my kid are doing, what is me and my boyfriend doing? Like that lives on that channel. Now, does that mean that only my Pink page is going to be monetized? No, all of them can be monetized. You're double dipping on yourself. And the sooner you start doing that, the easier you're going to cross-pollinate your content. People are going to organically like you because they get to see your personal life. They get to see your family. They get to see your gaming and your fun entertainment side. And then that all holistically starts growing together.
I definitely like agree, and like being able to I isn't the proper term, it's called cross market, right? Yeah, so to be able to, like, for example, I have the PSP Podcast YouTube. Everything that I post from this podcast is going to be posted on there. It's not going to be posted on my main page. I have the same thing for TikTok. I don't for Instagram. Now, I might make one, but I haven't thought about that yet. The reason why I haven't done that in regards to Instagram and created a PSP Podcast Instagram account is because I've seen them push better from my own personal page where it sees integration of content. I don't know if it's a meta thing. I don't know why, but they like different styles of content being rolled into one. And you can correct me if I'm wrong here, because I don't really know.
Are you talking personal page on the back end because it's linked to your personal Facebook page?
So it is linked to. So my percussive is linked to my personal Facebook page. That's the back end of that.
So that's the one that gets more views.
That's the one that gets more views. So the percussive
Right.
one. So in the same thing with like percussive 173 on Instagram, that was technically connected to my Facebook because it's integrated and like that the whole tech thing behind it that we discussed earlier. But for whatever reason, like I haven't made the PSP podcast because it pushes the PSP podcast from my personal Instagram, from the percussive 173 Instagram. I can't actually explain why that's the case, but for whatever reason, they like the variety of content on Insta.
Yeah. So on the back end, because I know you have a Facebook page also, and that is underneath not your PSP podcast page.
Yeah, I don't even have a PSP podcast page for Facebook
Correct.
or Insta. Yeah.
Right. So that's just based around your gaming style content. So that is probably what's popping up, because when I searched you and your name on Meta Business Suite, it showed your metadata for Instagram. So all your content on Instagram is being shown on Facebook. And if you create another account, yes.
I need
So
to
if you
switch
type
that.
yourself in the search bar, you're going to pop up under Reels. But when you click on the reel, it's going to redirect you back to Instagram. And it's still going to let users see and interact and do all that stuff on Meta, even though it's uploaded via Instagram because they're the same platform. But that's how you can grow. And then you would just create a PSP podcast Instagram page underneath the exact same umbrella, and you can still link it back to your Facebook page. So it'll still cross post the same.
Oh, cool. I'll have to definitely look into that. Like that's we'll have to talk off the podcast more about that. Like, but so what I wanted to talk about, where you were mentioning like scripted videos and stuff like that. Scripted videos right now are huge in. Look at Cpreds is a huge example. Cpreds is a Call of Duty content manager for Zen. His content is being blown up everywhere on multiple different platforms. The Zen content creators are, if you're a Call of Duty creator, you need to pay attention to what they're doing. You need to pay attention to Facebook Crack, to Aaron the Loco, to The Only Shady, to Cpreds, and like people like that. Those people are doing it right. They're using their metrics right. They have created a persona over time and have allowed themselves to be able to post. So the video that actually first started for me back in 22, and the reason why I even started continuing content to this day, was I actually utilized AI before people really knew what AI was, and I told it to make me a script, and then I read that script off with me and my like another voice in SFX, and then it went really well. And it was a video of me taking somebody's M13 in DMZ at drop, at end of drop, and that hit, I think, 155,000 views on Facebook, and that was like, oh my god, this is great. And then about a month later, I made a video on my backup TikTok account where I started doing educational content, and I had AI write the intro for it, and I said, lag switching is a cheat. That hook, that 3-second hook. And then I continued. So where I say lag switching is a cheat, and this is what, and I ran into one, and then I killed them. That was my whole intro. But the lag switching is a cheat. Hooked interest, draw interest, allowed people to stay through. And I think that video is still pushing on my backup percussive 173 with an underscore on TikTok, because I'm still getting 9+ notifications a day on it. And it's at like 175,000, I believe. But it's when you look at what works. 95% of what content creators need to do is look introspectively on their own work to see what works, so they can utilize that for the future when it comes to content, and especially streaming. And that's a point that I make every single day, and that's what I mean by introspection. We look within ourselves, we look within our own content that we push to utilize the metrics properly. So one of the things I wanted to talk with you about before we wrap things up is what
Yeah.
are the right metrics to look at?
So, the right metrics that you should be looking at is your watch time. That is incredibly important. So, if you are seeing that someone's watching your video for only 2 seconds, that means your hook sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It needs to be 5 plus seconds for sure. Now, let's say you get to a point where your video is 15 seconds long and you have a drop or off rate at 7 seconds. What did you say? What did you say around 7 seconds that just turned hundreds of thousands of people off? And then don't do it again. Like, that's kinda what you need to do with watch time. And then your engagement. Who is engaging with your posts? How much engagement are you getting from your viewership to your engagement rate? Because when brands are gonna be outreaching to you, they care about the engagement rate and the engagement rate only. Some brands are still stuck back in 2015 where they're like, "Oh, cool, you got 80,000 followers that you probably purchased, but we're gonna give you this, $700 chair," or whatever it may be. So follower count is irrelevant. Don't care about your follower count. You
Mm-hmm.
need watch time, engagement, retention rate, interactions. Those are like the big key points. And then for brands specifically, you're going to look at how many shares do you have? What's your link clicks? And what's your profile views? And then like off from the platforms, if you have a aggregation link in bio platform like a Linktree, a linker, or a custom one like what my website does,
Mm-hmm.
then you can put that in there, show those analytical backings on the back end because they wanna see who's clicking on your links, how many clicks are you getting, etcetera. Like, that's the most important to sell yourself, and then if we're talking streaming, we want how many people are subscribed to the channel because some sponsors will ask for that. Now, what you wanna look at as a content creator around your, like, analytical back end on streaming platforms, what was the day? What day did you stream? How many viewers did you have? What was the retention rate on those viewers? How many chat interactions did you have? And how many subscriptions did you get? Now, majority of content creators do look at their subscriptions, so I am throwing that in there just for transparency, because some people will say they don't, but they do. Okay. So,
They do.
and they do. They definitely do. And so those are the big, big points that you're going to want to look at when we're talking content creation from social media to uh, live streaming.
It's another thing
Yeah.
too, is like when my favorite metric, my favorite place to look at things is YouTube. YouTube does this very well. Like their YouTube studio gives you all the great
All of it.
metrics that you need. So when
Yeah.
I go onto YouTube, when I go onto my streams, what's really interesting, I have 0 viewers on both of my YouTubes right now, which is actually kind of rare for a live stream. That typically doesn't happen. But what my viewers actually from my YouTube actually happen after I post a live video or after
Right.
I upload like the full video. It's kind of weird. I don't understand it. But anyways, not important. When you go into your content and you go into a specific video that you're trying to analyze and see what's going on, you have to look at that little drop off chart. You have to, it's so important. And
Yes.
like you mentioned that like with Facebook and you mentioned that with like TikTok, like every platform has it. But the drop off chart is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Our job as content creators is to create content for you and to keep you engaged with our content. And some people do it with a rage bait. Some people do it by like saying stupid things. Some people do it with sex. I mean, like, to be honest, like content is a very vast field and people forget that. There is no like one line of just like, I'm a gamer, this is my game, this is what it's gonna be. Like someone's gonna be like the Jack Dohertys of the world and gonna be like, I hate you because and I'm gonna run into you and I'm gonna make you wanna beat me up because that's my content style and that's who it is. Me, on the other hand, as percussive, I want to spread positivity. My goal is to make you smile. My goal is to educate you, and my goal is to allow you to be confident in yourself as a creator to want to move forward and take the next steps. And that's why I bring in people like Pink. That's why I bring in people like Bobby. That's why I bring in people like Lainey, like people with that have the history, the personalities that will make it in the world of content. And as creators, as business owners, we all see the mindset. Pink would not have taken time out of her extremely busy schedule to have this conversation with me if she didn't see something here. Because what is this offer for her? So that's the mentality, even on collaborations, that you have to think of.
Yes. Yes. You cannot always think that it's for you. Sometimes things help build your portfolio. And that is another thing that I always tell all my I say a lot, all of them. I tell all my content creators that everything is an opportunity. And whether that's free, you're doing a product review because you don't have any campaign launches underneath your belt and you really want to get a sponsorship deal that's a big one, you need to start from the bottom. You have to start making those connections because you never know. If I was, let's say I had 5 or 15 viewers and, this is my first stream ever, but I went on a show because I had a lot of knowledge and information. And then in 6 months, I'm averaging 15,000. That's a big dramatic change. And it's really smart to just naturally make these connections with people, collaborate authentically, and be yourself and help each other.
Yes.
And help doesn't mean going out of your way and taking advantage of users. It just means when it seems fit and someone needs it and you both add value and you know that you can trust that person without being used over and over and over again, then help them. But
Exactly.
sometimes you do have to book those services. So just remember your value.
So the last question, because I know we're reaching time point here,
Yeah.
is if you had to tell a new and aspiring creator one thing about content, what would that be? What you want them to know when they're first starting out?
Oh, God.
I know this is a great question. That's why I ask every person on the podcast this
It's
question.
hard.
It is
Because
very
it
hard.
can go positive or negative.
Yeah. You can be whatever Pink wants it to be.
I mean, I always start negative. I always go
Sure.
strong.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I always tell people if someone comes up to me and they go, "Hey, I want to be a content creator, but I don't know where to start and I don't know what to do." I'd be like, "Well, you need to understand the biggest pain points of content creation right out the gate. Don't waste your time if you don't know and understand what you're getting into. You're going to hit burnout. You're going to work a lot. The 9 to 5 is going to be great after 2 years of grinding 7 days a week. It's going to be amazing when you start taking off and blowing up and noticing that people that weren't coming around are coming around again. It's going to mentally exhaust you, but if you have the drive and you have the momentum and the mental capacity to keep going and pivoting every day and being able to keep up with that work schedule while also balancing your personal life, having fun, friends, a family, a relationship, being able to leave your house and still taking on business opportunities, managing yourself, video editing, and doing all of that on your own to start, then do it. But if you think, even for a second, you may not be able to do that, don't waste your time because it will come to a point where you're going to hit a part in your online career where you're going to blow up and it's going to be least expected. And when you do, you're going to get your high. And when you get your high, your logic is going to be low. And what that means is you may run the risk of quitting your job over a fabricated dream that was hit to you on an algorithm whim. And what is going to happen is in 2-3 months, when you're thinking you're at your peak, everything is going to get ripped away from you. And can you dig out of that so fast, or are you going to crunch under the pressure and not be able to pivot and not be able to get on LinkedIn and market yourself to other businesses and get out of your comfort zone to make that rage bait content that's going to feed your family? Because that's what it comes down to for a lot of content creators. And also thinking from a streaming perspective, what are you going to do when something happens and everybody leaves? What are you going to do when they change the algorithm where if people aren't chatting anymore, the views don't count? And that's going to be an ego hit, and it's going to hit hard. So a lot of people will go out and start with a positive outlook, right? I never start with a positive outlook on it because I'm real. And so isn't the fucking struggle. And it sucks. And, people need to understand it because I've been doing content, streaming, and working 7 days a week for 7 years. I have gotten 2 vacations for a total of 14 days. And I was even live streaming when I was going through cancer 5 times. I'm exhausted, but I show up every day because I have the drive. I have the motivation. I have the knowledge. I have the contacts. I have everything. I just am tired because at the end of the day, we all worked a 9 to 5. We all had fun touching grass, going hiking, living our life. And when you do this type of content, if you don't structure that type of content within your content pillars, you may be screwed and it will catch up. And you just need to understand the pain points of it. And I'll let all the positive people tell you the happy things. But this is the real shit behind content creation.
I honestly couldn't agree more. Honestly, if I were going to tell somebody who's first starting out in content creation, my advice to them is, first off, what the fuck's wrong with you? I'm kidding, of course. Like, I have to say that, and the reason why I say that is because, like, there's so much that you're going to be putting yourself through. But realistically, she told you a lot of the negative standpoints. I'm going to tell you the positive standpoint from here. There's only one journey. So do with it in a way that you can do it in your own enthusiastic, authentic way. So you have to learn from a business perspective, a content perspective, and from a business management perspective on how to create and manage your own brand. It is not easy. People need multiple college degrees to do the shit that we do. Build your web and put your feelers everywhere, and never put your eggs in one basket.
Never.
The hours that we're putting into this are way vaster than a 9 to 5. And that's why, like, we laugh at people who comment on us because their whole goal is to make us tick when they say, you should just get a real job and work a 9 to 5. They just don't get it.
I would.
They just don't get it. And that's okay. But honestly, there is only one journey. So do it your own way. Be yourself and have fun while you do it. Because the moment you stop having fun is the moment your chat's going to see that. And the moment the people who are paying attention to you are going to see that, and your content's going to stop pushing.
Yep.
So that's my mindset for it.
No, and you're right. You're absolutely right. If you're not having a good day, your stream's probably not going to do so good. People are going to know.
Well,
they're going to know.
Let's even go to this point. My mentality earlier on in the beginning of the stream, and I was dealing with all these tech issues. You all saw it. I know you did. That's why you're all on Pink Stream. So, but you can still hear me, and you're not seeing me freak out over that. So, understanding the way the content works and understanding the way things are pieced together, like, now I'm happier. Now I'm, like, okay with the way things are, and things are running very smooth. But it's a really unique thing, and it could be the most fun thing in the world. Can it also be the most detrimental thing for your entire mental health? So
yes, it can also ruin your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people need to really think. I know a lot of people in chat DM me, and a lot of people say, I really want to start streaming. That'd be so much fun, but my wife hates it. Well, you have a lot of talking to do.
Yes,
because
there's a lot involved.
This is exhausting. And you think your wife is mad now, or you think your husband's mad now, or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. It's just going to get worse, I promise. Because you are busy. You're not working a 9 to 5. You're working 24/7. Because at 3 a.m. when your Discord starts getting hacked with porn images being spammed everywhere, you better hope you have a mod. Because if you don't, your phone's going off. And it's your job to get up and do it. And a lot of people think that, oh, well, I'll have the help, but no, you don't always have the help, because at the end of the day, you do not pay your moderators. They do not work for you, and they do not live your life day in and day out. They have lives too. And that's a big thing that content creators also, forget, is that their mods are real people. They're not just
Mm-hmm.
bots you turned on. Like, they are real. And you still have to communicate with them and give them days off and let them not show up and not be mad that they're not there. Like, you weren't their top priority. They're there to help you because they like you and they like your personality and whatever the fuck they like you for. I don't know. But they they're there to support the channel because they like the community. Don't take advantage of it because you're an asshole and you have an ego. Figure out how to create an AI bot like we've done to filter out shit. But if you can't do that, then I don't know, treat your mods better, because they're there for what they want to be there for. So be nice.
The mods are real people, and we absolutely love and adore our moderators. As creators, they do everything in the world for us and above.
Yeah.
But, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you so much for coming on and hanging out with us on this episode of the PSP Podcast. And a huge shout out to Pink. And if you guys are not following Pink, please make sure you are. Please make sure you're going to check out her content. Please make sure you're actually following her and engaging with her, because she's really a genuinely amazing human being. You can tell from what she's been spewing with us today from a marketing perspective. There's so much out there. Shoot her a DM, or maybe not, but shoot her a DM. Just
I need my booking link.
yeah, get her booking link, and genuinely just she's really awesome from a content perspective and from a business marketing perspective, and genuinely follow her. And I really say that authentically and not just because I have to, because she's giving me $1 million for this. No, I'm kidding. She's not. No, seriously, genuinely follow her. But ladies and gentlemen, I love you all. I appreciate you all. And until next time on the PSP Podcast, I will see you guys later. Deuces!